Darlings, gather round because what I'm about to share with you will shake the very foundation of everything you thought you knew about the music industry. We're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and heartbreaking stories of our time, the tragic death of Prince. And oh my goodness, the secrets I've uncovered will leave you absolutely speechless. Let me take you back to that devastating day in April 2016, when we lost one of music's most brilliant stars. Prince, the musical genius who gave us Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, and countless other masterpieces, was found dead at his beloved Paisley Park estate at just 57 years old. But darling, if you think this was just another tragic celebrity death, you couldn't be more wrong. The truth behind his passing is more shocking than anything you could imagine, and it goes straight to the heart of the music industry's darkest secrets. Now let me spill some serious tea about Prince's final years, because what I've discovered is absolutely chilling. This wasn't just your typical case of a celebrity becoming eccentric. No. What we're talking about here is a man who knew too much and was desperately trying to protect himself from forces far more sinister than any of us could have imagined. Picture this: Prince, this incredibly vibrant, larger-than-life icon who'd always lived life on his own terms, suddenly started acting different. And when I say different, I mean he transformed his Paisley Park estate into something that resembled Fort Knox. Can you believe that this man, who once welcomed creativity and collaboration, started implementing strict security measures that would make the Pentagon jealous? But here's the thing that makes my skin crawl. He wasn't being paranoid at all. Everything he feared, everything he tried to warn others about, was absolutely real. The changes in his behavior weren't just random. They were calculated moves of a man who knew he was being watched, who knew he was in danger. Let's rewind a bit, because to understand the full scope of this scandal, we need to go back to where it all began. Picture an 18-year-old Prince, bright-eyed and talented beyond belief, signing what seemed like a dream contract with Warner Brothers. Oh, honey, if only he knew what that signature would cost him. What started as a seemingly perfect partnership soon turned into a nightmare that would haunt Prince for decades. By 1992, things had gotten so bad that our purple-clad hero took the dramatic step of writing "slave" across his face in protest. Can you imagine? One of the world's biggest stars, literally branding himself to show the world just how trapped he felt. The contract that caused all this drama? A supposedly lucrative $100 million deal that came with golden handcuffs? Warner Brothers would own all his master recordings. For Prince, this wasn't just about money. It was about artistic freedom, about maintaining control over his own creative soul. The battle that ensued would define his career and ultimately may have led to his untimely death. Now, darling, this is where things get really juicy. Just when Prince thought he'd finally won his freedom from Warner Brothers, enter two of the most powerful figures in modern music, Jay-Z and Diddy. And let me tell you, this partnership would prove to be more toxic than a snake pit. What started as a seemingly innocent streaming deal with Jay-Z's Tidal platform turned into something far more sinister. The initial agreement was simple enough. Prince would stream an album exclusively on Tidal for 90 days. Sounds straightforward, right? Wrong. Behind the scenes, something much darker was brewing. Sources close to the situation reveal that Tidal wasn't just interested in streaming rights. They wanted complete control over Prince's entire catalog. Can you imagine the audacity? After everything Prince had gone through with Warner Brothers, here was Jay-Z's company trying to pull the same moves. The betrayal must have cut deep, especially considering Prince had initially trusted Jay-Z as someone who understood the importance of artistic independence. But wait, because this story gets even more shocking when we talk about Diddy's role in all of this. Those infamous freak-off parties he was known for? Well, darling, they weren't just your average celebrity gatherings. According to insiders, these parties were more like traps for young, vulnerable artists who were desperate to make it in the industry. Prince was absolutely horrified when he discovered what was really going on at these events. Young talents, dreams still sparkling in their eyes, would attend these parties hoping to make connections that would launch their careers. Instead, they found themselves in situations where they were pressured to compromise their values and integrity just to get ahead. And this is where our purple one showed his true colors as a warrior for artistic integrity. Instead of sitting back and watching this exploitation continue, Prince created his own exclusive gatherings, the 3,121 parties. Oh my word, these events were everything Diddy's parties weren't. They were safe spaces where artists could actually focus on their craft without fear of being manipulated or exploited. But darling, no good deed goes unpunished in this industry. By creating these alternative gatherings, Prince essentially declared war on the power players who'd been running things their way for far too long. He wasn't just protecting himself anymore, he was actively working to protect others, and that made him dangerous to those at the top. Now, hold on to your seats because this next part is absolutely explosive. According to comedian Katt, and trust me, he's not one to mince words, Prince had gathered incriminating evidence against both Jay-Z and Diddy. Evidence so damaging it could have destroyed their careers. Can you even imagine what kind of secrets he must have uncovered? The suggestion that these two music moguls might have been involved in a dark plot to silence Prince has left fans questioning everything we thought we knew about his death. Some believe he was eliminated because he knew too much and was prepared to expose the industry's darkest secrets. The timing certainly seems suspicious, doesn't it? And speaking of suspicious, let's talk about that elevator. Yes, that elevator where Prince was found. Here's something that will send chills down your spine. Prince had always referred to elevators as the devil. I mean, what are the chances that he would be found dead in the very thing he had warned about? It's almost too perfect, isn't it? But it gets even creepier. Just before his death, Prince posted a cryptic message on social media warning his followers that they were never truly safe. It's like he knew something was coming but couldn't say it directly. The symbolism of the elevator taking him down seems too deliberate to be mere coincidence. Now, let's talk about the official investigation, because honey, this is where things get shadier than a palm tree forest. The official cause of death was ruled as an accidental overdose from fentanyl-laced counterfeit pills. But let me ask you this, does anyone really believe that Prince, a man known for his clean living and strict control over what he put in his body, would accidentally overdose? The investigation itself was filled with more holes than a Swiss cheese. Security footage mysteriously disappeared, key witnesses were never questioned, and the whole thing was wrapped up faster than you can say Purple Rain. And those pills scattered throughout his home? It's like someone was trying to create a narrative, and they weren't even trying to be subtle about it. Here's where it gets really dark, darling. Prince isn't the first legendary artist who died under suspicious circumstances after challenging the industry's power structure. Think about it. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and now Prince? All of them were fighting battles against the industry's control when they died. It's like there's this invisible line you're not supposed to cross, and if you do, well, the consequences can be fatal. Even Kanye West, and say what you will about him, but the man isn't afraid to speak his mind, suggested that Prince, like Michael Jackson, was silenced to protect powerful industry interests. It's a pattern that's too consistent to ignore, and it's absolutely terrifying when you really think about it. But here's the thing that gives me hope. Even in death, Prince's influence continues to shine brighter than ever. His battle for artistic freedom, his determination to protect young artists from exploitation, and his unwavering commitment to his principles have inspired a whole new generation of artists to question the status quo. The legal battles over his estate and music rights continue to this day, proving that even in death, the fight for control over his legacy rages on. His catalog was made available on Tidal, despite the fact that he had never consented to such a move. A final insult to a man who had spent his life fighting for artistic control. Darlings, as we reflect on this tragic story, we have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to do to protect artists who dare to stand up against the machine? Prince's death serves as a chilling reminder of what can happen when someone threatens to expose the dark underbelly of the music industry. Every time we stream his music, every time we remember his courage to stand up against the industry giants, we're keeping his spirit of rebellion alive. Because in the end, that's what Prince would have wanted, for artists to keep fighting for their freedom, their integrity, and their right to own their art. So the next time you hear one of his songs, remember that you're not just listening to music. You're hearing the voice of someone who dared to challenge the powers that be and potentially paid the ultimate price for it. And if that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will. The truth about what really happened to Prince might never fully come to light, but one thing's crystal clear. He was more than just a musical genius. He was a warrior fighting against a system that values profit over artistry, control over creativity, and power over integrity. And darling, In an industry that's becoming increasingly corporate and controlled, we need his spirit of rebellion now more than ever. Remember, in Prince's own words, the key to longevity is to learn every aspect of music that you can. But perhaps the real key to longevity in this industry is knowing when to stay quiet. A lesson our beloved Prince tragically learned too late. Rest in power, Purple One. The truth will set us free even if it couldn't save you.